Um, just before we start this video, I want to apologize for my voice. I'm quite sick, so my voice is the way it is. Today, we're gonna go through some basic C commands like scanf and printf. So the first thing that you wanna do is you want to run your IDE. Basically, it's your development environment. And the one that I use is Div C++, but it doesn't really matter, so whatever you have should work just fine. Okay, so let's get started. First, you open up your new source file, and something like this should appear. I have a custom theme, so that's the reason why my interface is probably quite different than yours right now. But you can easily change it in your tools and editor or editor options. Okay, okay, that's not really the point of this video. In your first line, you want to include the library you're gonna be using. And in our case, we're gonna be using the standard input and output library, also known as CStudio or Studio H. And that kinda looks like, it looks like this. Okay, that's our first line. In the third line of your code, you wanna type in int main. And just as the word says, it's the main and only part of our program. This is the part where all our actions and commands are actually gonna perform. And now that we finally got all of this out of the way, we can finally start doing what we're actually here for. Okay, for starters, I'm gonna show you the example of a very interesting program that I came across on our IT class. It's very easy, but I found it like pretty interesting. So that's what I'm gonna use for an example today. I just typed in the example I was talking about. Our problem that we have includes 5 inputs while we have 6 people. And the problem is which one of them is missing. Basically, by putting in 5 numbers, we have to determine which one of those is missing. So for example, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6, and we have to find out or program a code that's gonna print out the 5th person that is missing. So how do we do that? First of all, we have to learn about the scanf and printf functions. We start off by typing in the command scanf. We open up the brackets and quotation marks. And everything that's inside the quotation marks only shows the way our variable is inputted, but more importantly printed out, while also showing the value it holds. I'm gonna insert the table on the screen and I can talk about that a little bit more like in depth in another video if you want. But for now we're gonna just use %d. It holds value for around plus minus 32,000, which is more than enough for us. We double that 5 times. So we have our 5 inputs that we need. But before putting our variables in our scanf function, we first have to declare them just before our scanf function. So we can name them like number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. And we do the exact same thing in the scanf function with this sign in front. Okay. After we have our input ready and our variables declared, we have to think about our problem. The way we're gonna deal with this problem is actually pretty easy. So we have 6 people, and if we count up or add up all the numbers from 1 to 6, we're gonna get a sum of 21. That goes like this, 21. And to get, let's say, for example, a person 4 that is missing, we just simply have to put our sum minus all the numbers we're gonna input. So for example, 21 minus 1 plus 3, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 6 equals 4, or the person we're missing. And that's the logic of our program. What I like to do is I simply declare another variable that's gonna count up all those numbers. So in my printf function, I can just simply input that input that variable as an answer without any other counting or adding up in the exact printf function. So it'll go something like this. For example, we can name it people. And in our just before our printf function we put something like people equals 21 minus the brackets or number 1 plus number 2 plus number 3 plus number 4 plus number 5. Okay, and that's about it, and our program is pretty much finished. The only thing left to do now is to print out our result, or the person that is missing. So we open up brackets and quotation marks, and in our quotation marks we have to show the program the way our variable is gonna be printed out. So let's say I just want to show you this as an example. So everything that's in the quotation mark, it's the way it's gonna be printed out, and it holds the same value as in our scanf. Let's say for example, if we use something other than d, we have to have all the same variables here and here as well. But for now, we'll just use the %d. What I was trying to say is that if you leave space in between quotation mark, that's the way it's gonna get printed. Or if you have something like decimals in your program, you just simply put .4 and it's gonna print out only 4 decimals of your number, even though that's not possible in our case right now. If you refer to the table I show you in the earlier part of the video. Anyways, after our quotation marks, we just simply print out our variable that prints out our result, and that's pretty much it for our program. And just as we end the video, you have to type in return 0 for your program to work. Now we're gonna compile it, and okay, after I finally fixed everything, I can finally run the program. Okay, so let's say we're looking for a 6th person. We input our 5 numbers, and it will print out the 6th person. But let's just return to this for a little bit. Let's say you wanna specify what your input is actually doing, and we just simply type in the missing person is person number, and this is the number. Let's say we put a lot of spaces in between, and just to see how is that gonna affect our input. So we compile the program again and run it. We put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. and the missing person is person number 6. And that's pretty much it for our program. Just before I end this video, I want to say thanks for watching, and if anyone has any sort of kind of whatever questions, just leave them in the comments or ask me in real life if you have the ability to do so. And to everyone who's watching this from my class or that knows me, please do not share this video. And for everyone else, please, yeah, share this video. And that's about it for me. Thank you for watching. See ya.